All right, so let's just start off. Good evening. It's nice to sit down with you. So just to start off, what's your name and where are you based and kind of what do you do?
Hello, Chad. My name is Jonathan Reyes. I work for the United States Postal Service. I'm a part-time flexible. Um, I'm a mail carrier, and I work out in Woodstock in the Woodstock, New York post office.
Okay, Woodstock, where is that exactly? I'm from Colorado, so I'm not necessarily hip to the New York geography. I'm assuming it's upstate.
Yeah, Woodstock is upstate. We're about 2.5 hours away from New York City.
Okay.
Um, it's so think about just the original Woodstock.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I heard Woodstack and then I'm like, oh, oh no, now I know where Woodstock is. All right.
Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned you're sort of part-time flexible. So what does that sort of mean? Like walk me through what your day would have looked like, your work day would look like before this all started.
The thing with the post office is that we have two crafts. There's a CCA, a city carrier assistant, which is part time, but that person doesn't get benefits.
Mm,
As for a regular carrier, you have years in, you put your time in, so now you get everything that you want. But our union fought for part-time flexibles, which was a craft that we used to have like years ago, and you needed a certain amount of time in. So I'm basically like a CCA,
mhm.
but I get paid like a like a full timer does. So I get benefits, 401k, my retirement, all that stuff.
Oh, that's really cool. So how long have you been with the Postal Service?
Been working for over 4 years.
Okay, great. So like what is kind of you want to walk me through what have your what did your routine look like, before this all started?
Well,
Like what
before,
was a normal day?
honestly, like a lot of things didn't change. I mean, like you come into work 8 o'clock, you case your route, you do what you got to do, you get everything all set up and ready. In the post office, we have a mail case, so we have clerks who give us mail, and we have to sort through the mail and put them in every slot because every route is designed differently and stuff. So you have to put like all this like 120, like 123, like Aaron Drive, like their mail goes over here and stuff like that, and you do it at the beginning of the route, and one like 564 Davis Drive is like at the end of the route. So so as a mailman, it's my job to make sure that everything gets put in order, and I have to pull it down from the case, and then I go on with my day, and I take it out with me with my pack. I put it into my truck, and I just take my packages, and I just go on my day, and I deliver the mail. I get done usually around like 3, 4 o'clock.
Hmm.
Um, Now with the pandemic, it's a lot longer now, and I just once I'm done, like we have until 4:30. But if it's usually a heavy day, it'll take us a lot longer. Or if we have a circular, it takes us a lot longer. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's just now once the pandemic hit, now we're out there a little bit longer now because of obviously the amount of package volume that we got once the pandemic hit.
Okay, so that like that is just one of the things that changed was it's just more packages started coming
And
in,
the mail dropped down a lot like when the pandemic hit because a lot of businesses weren't really able to give us anything.
right? Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah.
no, that's cool. And I'm just trying to clarify in my head. So it's basically when you say case the mail, it's like you just have different sort of cases, and it's like, this is mail that's coming. You have one box where this is the mail at the start of my route, and then you
Yeah.
have a box that's like this
Yeah,
is
like
later on.
like you have streets and stuff like that. Like there are times where you'll hit like one street like twice or three times like throughout the day and stuff like that. It really depends how the post office decides how the route is going to go. We don't have control over that. We just go with the flow and that's it.
Hmm.
Uh, but to be honest, like once the pandemic hit, a lot of things didn't really change for me. It was still the same thing. The only difference now is that I have to wear a mask.
Okay. Has that been has it changed, impacted, or changed your experiences with like people on your routes?
Because a lot of people now like I could be coming right towards you right now with the package, and you can like now you can literally tell me, "Oh, just drop it there." Like I won't even like come anywhere near my customers. I don't like if I see that they're coming towards me, I'll drop their package right in the middle and I'll just walk back. because I don't want to take because again, I could be asymptomatic and I don't know that, you know, and I
Mhm.
don't take the chance of, God forbid, giving it to one of my customers. And the thing about it is that Woodstock, we have a lot of elderly people. So we have people who are, you know,
Mhm.
that could possibly get the COVID-19. And me being a young guy, like I mean, I like to think I'm pretty healthy and, you know, I stay in shape and stuff like that. So, like I said, I could be asymptomatic and I could give it to somebody who's like 60, 70 years old. And I just try to avoid that.
Oh yeah. So it's and how does the when I'm assuming the way you described that scenario, I assume it's happened quite a few times where like someone's like it's normal and they come up to you.
Yeah,
Like
do
what is
it.
that like? Like what does that feel like?
It's weird. I mean, now it's just like I don't know what to say to these guys. I'm like, "Hi guys, how are you?" And then like I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna leave your package right here. I'll see you later. Bye." Uh, I mean, but most of the time, like when the pandemic first hit, like nobody was coming out. So I could just drop it off at their door and then that was it. I just go on with my day and they would grab it like once I got back into the truck and then that's when they would say, "Thanks, John."
Mhm.
But now it's like, because it's summertime, obviously everybody's out more because of the fact that, you know, um, people are starting to like go out a lot more and like, you know, it's starting to calm down a little bit, but you know, but it's just still, if I see a customer coming up to me, I just leave it at the middle between us and I just walk away, or they'll usually tell me or I'll just say like, "Hey, can you just like stay back for a little bit or just move to the side so I'll like keep your 6 feet." But other than that, that's really it.
It's like the biggest change. Like so I mean, do you take like any precautions when you like come home in terms of like
Well, not because it's just me and my daughter.
Mhm.
Um, so when it's me and my daughter, like that was the tough part when it came to me and my daughter. Like when the pandemic first hit, I didn't see my daughter for a month and a half. So that was hard to do because we didn't know what the circumstances were with COVID-19. Like I didn't want to take the chance, and my daughter lives with her mother,
Mhm.
so and her mother was pregnant at the time, so I didn't want to take the chance of obviously taking my daughter and then God forbid being asymptomatic and I give it to her and then her mother and then her unborn child and then and
Yeah.
our and her husband. I didn't want to do that. So for the first month and a half, I kind of just was like, "Hey, listen, let's just take a chill pill." And then once I think summer hit, that's when me and her mom were like, "Okay, let's just be a little bit cautious." I scrubbed down my entire apartment before she walked in here. Um, I do. Sorry, it was my father. Um,
It's fine.
but we just I scrubbed down my apartment and just every day I tell her just wash your hands. You know, we take a bath every day. We scrub each other down. I scrub myself down really hard when I give my daughter a bath. I scrub her down really hard and
Mhm.
just try and stay clean as much as possible.
How old is your daughter?
She's 4. She'll be 5 at the
Okay.
end of the year.
So is she going to be starting school soon or?
She was supposed to start preschool in next month, but because of COVID, we can't we can't. She's it's actually her right now, sweetheart.
Oh,
Hold on.
she hears herself being talked about.
She's actually baby. I'm doing something right now. Can you just go outside real quick? I'll be right outside. I promise.
Mhm.
She wants our cat. That's why.
Oh,
I need you to go outside though. Now. Now, right? No, because you can't play with the dogs. Go. No. Keep me company later, but I'm doing something right now. Go. Go. Now. Excuse me, Chad.
no worries.
Come on. Let's go. Now. Now. Go outside. Now. You want to go to bed? Go. Go. Sorry about that, man.
Oh, no, it's okay. I mean, I remember being that age and my parents always being, I'm certain she plays the game, she wakes up and it's like, go back to bed.
Yeah.
But I'm tired. Read a story. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's totally understandable.
You can be a handful, but that was the tough part. Just not when COVID hit, not seeing her for that month and a half definitely took its toll on me. And then I was scared. I was honestly scared when once they announced on the news that COVID was coming to the U.S. Because we didn't know what was going to happen. And me being somebody who obviously is an essential worker going out there, again, like I I know I'm a healthy person. I eat healthy and stuff like that. But again, there were people who were dying that didn't even have like, past, what was it, past conditions or anything like that, like nothing. And I'm
Mhm.
like, well, what if that's me? What if I'm out there one day and I just happen to get it? And I mean, it's been what, 5 months already, 6 months?
No.
I mean, I'm still
It's
here. I'm still breathing.
yeah, I actually when it hit, I started having I was had a bit of allergies or a head cold, but my mom got really sick and I thought it was COVID. It wasn't. But we were both like calling each other like wellness checks. So I totally get that feeling. I guess interesting question though would be, so when did COVID-19 first cross your horizon? When did you first become aware it was going to be a thing? Like what was that process like?
Let's see, well, COVID was announced back in December, right?
Mhm.
So for the first like 2 months, like so December and January, I didn't really stress about it. But then what's funny is when the NBA season paused, when Rudy Gobert from the Utah Jazz, tested positive for the coronavirus, that's when I was like, okay, this is real. Um, and then that's when I got really nervous because it's like I'm a huge basketball fan. So when I saw that my favorite sport wasn't going to be like just stopped, that's when I'm like, okay, I need to take this a lot more serious. So I started wearing gloves, I started wearing the mask, and like going back to customers coming up to me, I would just be like, hey, I need you to like just stay back there for a second.
Mhm.
And that was so yeah, come like towards like the end of February, beginning of March is when I was like, okay, this is something really serious, and we should probably start taking this a lot, learning about this more. And me and my girlfriend, we were just like, this is kind of scary. And I kind of said to her like, listen, I think you may need to stay with your moms for a little bit until things starting to calm down. So both my girlfriend and my daughter, I wasn't able to see for over a month, and that was really hard. So
Yeah, that is. I can't imagine. Yeah, that's rough. I guess so. So now it seems to have sort of settled down. Is that because people are just like you said, it's summer, people are more outside, almost kind of
yeah.
think it's been 5 months, but like, is it just does it feel when you're on the route, do you have that same sort of sense you had early on about, oh, this could hit me? It's
Not because like, I mean, I think who was it? Fauci said like, obviously COVID's still out there, but like during the summertime, the heat and the humidity kind of like
Mhm.
just like take away everything. So you should still wear a mask, but like you could kind of like relax a lot more knowing the fact that it's summertime. But even during the like still around this time, I still wear my mask. I take it off if I know for a fact that I don't see anybody. If I'm like, because in Woodstock it's all driving, so I'll be in the truck for most of the time. I won't get out unless I have a package.
Mhm.
So if I'm just driving, I'll keep my mask off for the whole time, and I won't put it on until I know for a fact that I see. If I see somebody, that's when I'll put it on.
Okay. Yeah. No,
But
that makes sense. Um, I guess so. Kind of when you're doing this, and especially like thinking about that month and a half where it was just you and you weren't able to see your daughter or your girlfriend. I mean, what were kind of the things you would do to sort of cope with the stress? Like because I mean, you're a basketball fan, but the NBA paused its season.
Netflix.
Netflix.
A
Well,
lot of Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu. Just rewatching a lot of shows. I rewatched Daredevil, Luke Cage, Punisher, Disney Plus. I watched all the Marvel movies. Just trying to keep myself occupied and just like not stress about this because, I mean, I was still stressing about it, but it's like I'm a house body, so like I don't like I can stay home all day and I'll be fine. So like them saying to me like you can stay home, like I don't care. Like don't get me wrong, like I'll go out and stuff. Like even when the pandemic first hit, like once like after the month and a half, me and my girlfriend were like, okay, she likes to hike a lot. So we did a lot of hiking, but obviously when we went hiking, we would go like super early in the morning to where like a lot of people weren't really there. And by the time we were finishing up, like people were starting to come. So we're like, okay, we're good. But
Hmm.
just for that month and a half, it was a lot of Netflix and just Disney Plus. So that's definitely what helped me out. And and video games. So I mean, like I said, man, it's just I was stressing about it, but like being home all day wasn't really a problem for me.
Yeah, I can relate. I too am a homebody, so there's a piece of me that's like, oh, this is
Yeah,
like I can do this. So I guess maybe one other question I have would be like, you know, what do you hope to see kind of with COVID or in your workplace in the coming sort of weeks or months? Like, it seems like you've sort of there's some sort of equilibrium right now, but like, you know, I mean, it's kind of weird to think about the future
yeah,
at this moment.
no, absolutely. I'm just like you. I want this thing to be over with because, it's just weird not being able to do the things that we're so used to doing. Like me, like I like going to the movies a lot. I can't see the movies that I would want to see and stuff like that now because obviously movie theaters aren't open. I couldn't go to the gym. Gyms just started opening up yesterday, and where I live at, we just opened our gym yesterday. Um, Honestly, like if Fauci says that he feels cautiously optimistic by the end of the year, if not early 2021, that the possibility of a vaccine being here, then I gotta take that because I'm not a politics guy, but I will admit this: I hate Trump as president. I
Mm,
can't stand him. I think he's the biggest joke in the world. So if I'm looking at anybody to kind of just like tell me for leadership and just to kind of like let me know who's where I should take, it's either Fauci's or obviously Governor of New York Andrew Cuomo.
mhm,
Um, I think Cuomo's done a better job of handling the situation more than Trump has. And
mhm.
honestly, if you end up showing this on the video, I don't care because I care less what Trump thinks about me. Um, but just yeah, man, I'm just trying to keep my head up and just stay positive with this whole situation. I just want this to be over with. And if honestly, if life kind of has to be that we have to wear a mask until there's a 100% vaccine, I'm cool with that. I don't mind. It sucks wearing a mask, but at the same time, I don't mind it, especially
Mhm.
when you're going to the supermarket or going to the movies or like going to the gym. But I do have my moments where I'm like, oh, fuck this.
Oh yeah, I totally relate. I totally relate to that one. Out of curiosity, so is it Woodstock? I mean, how many people are how many coworkers do you have? Is it just like how many people do you interact with on the job, like on the post office side of things?
Well, in my office, we have so there's I have two bosses, so that's two right there. There's me, another part timer, and then there's five full timers. We have at least like 20, like 15 to 20 workers in my office.
Okay.
Um, we all wear masks when we come in. Obviously we all took precautions. We have a time clock, like where we punch in and stuff. We put tape around for 6 feet. Like whoever's there, like if you're in the box, you're the only person in there. Whoever, like, you have to stay outside of the box when it's time to clock in. We all put like little I guess current sheets between each case, so that way none of us can be that near each other. Um, we all
Mhm.
stay 6 feet apart, and that's just it, man. We just try and make the best of it, and we just try and stay positive. That's really it.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. So I think that hits most of the sort of notes I wanted to talk about. I mean, you have any sort of closing thoughts?
Just I want this thing to be over, man. That's just it. Like I look out, like I have a lot of, like I said, a lot of customers who are, you know, they could possibly get this, and I just ask them every day. Like I have one customer, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He um he has a pre-existing condition. Like he used to smoke cigarettes a lot, and he actually has like those holes that people get.
Oh, he has a tracheotomy. He has oh my gosh,
Yeah,
wow.
he has to talk through a little thing. And he told me, like, John, if you ever have a package for me, don't knock on my door. Like, I'll make sure to pay attention and stuff like that. But every day, like, you know, if I see him, I'm like, hey, Mr. Craig, how are you? Like, are you okay? Like, you doing all right? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. And you know, I just try and look out for all my old timers, because I know for a fact that, you know, I'm their mailman, but I still care about them to a certain extent. It's like if anything was to happen to them, I would be pretty bummed. But I just try and stay positive for everybody. I always try and try and go into it with a smile and stuff. You know, ask people how they're doing, and just tell
Mhm.
them we're gonna get through this.
Yeah.
You know?
Awesome. So, well,